Meatloaf and I were both fanatic Yankee fans. And when I was writing the song, I sort of had a sense of the structure, and I knew it was going to start as a flashback, which it does. I remember every little thing as if it happened only yesterday. And I knew it would have to then go to the actual flashback. And I just wanted to write a sex scene. And I remember sitting there in this apartment trying to think, how am I going to do a sex scene without being filthy? And the first thought that occurred to me was the baseball code of going to first base, second base, third base, and home. And I don't know if I suggested it to Meat or we got the idea together, but I just remember saying it's got to be Phil Rizzuto, because he was the guy we saw every night on the Yankees, and he's still my favorite play-by-play guy. Partly because he's a brilliant play-by-play man, and he was a great shortstop, but he was also fairly hallucinatory. You wonder what medication Phil was on. He would just riff off on the most wild subjects and say anything, and he just had that sort of that Yogi Berra, a little bit of the Yogi Berra in him. And when we decided to do it, I had to write it out. I wrote it out using all these Phil expressions, using every holy cow that would fit, He's going to slide in, holy cow, he's going to, and it was very funny because we went through the session, and Todd Rungler thought it was an idiotic idea. That was one of Todd's. Todd thought I had a lot of idiotic ideas, and that was right at the top of the list. I remember Todd going, Phil who, why are we doing this with Phil who? And I said, well, it's a really good idea. The Yankees play-by-play man, the shortstop. Yes, and my question again is, why are we doing this? And we had the session. We had to negotiate with Phil's agent for about a month. And Phil's agent was a guy named Art Shamsky, who was the outfielder for the New York Mets. Phil needed a better agent because Phil got $1,000 to do that whole thing, and he could have made a lot of money if he had asked for some sort of participation, but he didn't. And when he came to do the session, he arrived at the studio in New York, and he's a great guy. And Todd arrived very reluctantly because he didn't think it was necessary. But Todd forgot to bring the tapes, so we had no tapes at all, and Phil hadn't heard the song, which actually we thought was a blessing because we never told Phil it was like sexual stuff. We just said, you're going to do a play-by-play. It'll be fun. And when Todd didn't have the tapes, he said, well, how am I going to hear what's going on? And I said, well, we'll just wild track it. We'll just put you on a tape and we'll make it fit. He says, well, okay. And I remember him saying, this isn't anything dirty, is it? No, it's about going from first base to home plate. And actually, one of the great things is, to this day, Phil is like, has a great attitude about it. We went to Yankee Stadium in '78 or '79 to present the Yankees with a platinum record, and George Steinbrenner, and we presented some specific ones to Phil Rizzuto. And I remember we were in the dugout. It was a great day for me and Meat to be in the dugout at Yankee Stadium, which still thrills me more than any concert experience. It was just magnificent. And Phil Rizzuto comes running into the dugout from off field, yelling at us. He goes, Steinman, Meatloaf, you huckleberries! Why didn't you tell me this was dirty? The nuns are never going to forgive me. I take more. Oh, they won't leave me alone at the church about this. He's really religious. And he says, everyone is telling me, didn't you know the kids are having sex in the car? Oh, holy cow. I'll never get over it. My kids love it, though. My kids is their favorite. They like it more than my baseball sportscast. And he always remembers, you huckleberries, you didn't warn me about this. And him ranting about the nuns. And I wasn't that surprised, though, because before we met Phil, some station somewhere in the country, St. Louis or something, was clever. They had gone out to spring training for the Yankees in Florida, and they had taped Phil's reactions. So I heard it first on tape. They said, we want to play something. And then, so Mr. Rizzuto, what did you think of that Meatloaf, Paradise by the Dashlight? Holy cow, that's a dirty thing. I didn't have any idea. You should hear the nuns. They just are so upset. Any song you can upset nuns with, you're halfway there with the rock and roll piece. Though I do have this image of all these nuns dancing wildly to it, But he was great. And the funny thing was, he couldn't do himself. It was one of these cases where someone can't be themselves. He had to go out there and do it without any music, just say it, which should make it easier because he doesn't have to, time it to the music. And he had the dialogue written out that I had written out. And he's going, and he was like, it's like a method actor. He couldn't get in character. And so Phil's out in the studio going, okay, I'm ready, let's go. And Todd would go, okay, take one. Holy cow, we got a real pressure cooker going here. And I go, okay, Phil, hold on 1 second. What's wrong? I'm reading what you wrote. No, it's not. It doesn't feel right. Well, what's wrong? It's not excited enough. You get you laid back. Oh, well, how excited should I be? I said, well, very excited. Well, what game is this? Who are we playing? He was like Robert De Niro all of a sudden. I said, who are you playing? He says, yeah, what time of the year is it? And who are we playing? And I said, okay, you're playing at the end of the year. It's going to the playoffs. This is going to decide the playoffs. Oh, it's like a playoff decider. All right. Okay, let me try it again. And he tries again. He goes, Okay, we got a real pressure cooker going here. 2 down, nobody on, bottom of the... And it drifts off again. It's Phil. He started good. He says, well, you didn't tell me the team. You got to tell me the team. I said, oh, it's the Red Sox. I'm sorry. I meant wow, it's the Red Sox. And this went on like about 9 takes till we had it down to the specific pitcher, the catcher, who was on base, who was trying to get on base, the manager, everything was like specific. And when he finally got that, like the 9th time, he says, okay, and he wrote everything down. He says, the Red Sox, and such and such pitcher, and he said, okay. Holy cow, we got a real pressure cooker. And it was perfect. It was great. It was Phil Rizzuto as Al Pacino. You know, all he needed, he expected him anytime to go, holy cow, Attica, Attica, Attica. Phil became a method actor. It was very cool to see.